On October 20th, 1967, me and Roger were riding up the creek in Bluff Creek, and we looked to past the root ball to our left, and up stood this creature. Now, you all know the story from here, but this is the confession. So, when I chased this creature up the bowling alley just after the sandbar there, she kind of put her two hands on this log and started to bend over and shake her rear end there profusely, and I saw those Bigfoot cheeks clap. And I looked back, and Roger, he was doing some relaxed dance, and he said, "Now everybody in the club getting tipsy." I'm not sure what that meant. And all I thought was, they really are real. They really do exist. So that's the confession, and Russell Accord can suck my...
It's 8 o'clock. Let me sing you the song of my people. I swear to God, they have been quiet all day. Welcome, everybody, to the Squatchers Lounge podcast. I am the host of this mess, the Reverend Jeff Kelly, and with me this week is the Great White North Bigfoot Sasquatch investigator, Mr. Cameron Young. Hello, everybody's.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing tonight, Jeff?
Doing just fine. That's right. Clapping those Bigfoot cheeks, baby. Woo! Yeah, man. I gotta tell you. This week we're talking about tree breaks. Yeah, are they real? Are they not real? We'll talk about the evolution of some of those. Now, Cameron actually sent me a file here, and we're gonna go ahead and run that file for us. It's an audio clip of Rene DeHinden and his thoughts basically upon the Bigfoot tree breaks. So let's go ahead and take a quick listen to this. Now, where we do come into the audio file is where Rene DeHinden is actually talking about Grover Krantz's book and the issues that he has with some of that. So that's what the context of this starts out as.
I only can read Kranz's book every 3 months because it takes me that long for the blood pressure to go down. It is true. Now I want to talk about something to go back. The Walla Walla broken trees, right? And hair on the trees. Page 19. Tickners, green thing, Krantz quotes him. Tickners made the statement that he found all these little trees in Bluff Creek with broken tops on it. Bigfoot did it. He never saw a Bigfoot doing it, but he did. So they came to Walla Walla. Now one of these two jokers, either Krantz or Tickners, told Freeman, said, Bigfoot is walking through the brush, get a flask on his shoulder, breaking off little tree tops. Sure enough, Freeman finds him too. And then they found hair on it. Twice or 3 times, turned out to be his wife's wig, his wife's wig, artificial hair. I never paid any attention. I mean, anything come from... So in 93, I spent a month down in Bluff Creek. I really wasn't thinking about little tree tops, but I was camped in a place there, and it took about 10-15 hour videotapes there. As I was videotaping along, I looked down here, and here are all them damn little trees here, there, and then I start looking with broken tops on it. I got the video here, stick it in. But I was quite interested. I thought I took a hell of a lot of it, but I didn't. So I start looking around. If you go to Bluff Creek and mark it on the map, you can find stacks of little trees with tops broken off. I looked at them closer. I don't know if I say that. Each one of them is something wrong on that particular spot. I should have talked to the Forest Service. That's just the beginning.
So there you have his thoughts on it. Not everything is Bigfoot. We kind of need a little bit of observation of something doing something before we can really even accredit it to that being the direct cause of effect. So I kind of like tree knocks. I've never seen anyone have any video or encounters or anything else where they said that they watched a Bigfoot walk up to a tree and smack it with a stick. They're just in Bigfoot territory and hear tree knocks. Kind of the same thing with the branches. What are you thinking, Cameron?
Well, I think, Renee really somewhat nailed it on the head. At least to my knowledge, I don't believe Renee or any of the original four ever saw a Sasquatch break trees or do the rock clacking or anything like that. I think it is possible for some of that to be Sasquatch activity. But I did talk to another researcher today, and he also mentioned that, until we actually see a Sasquatch do these things, these are mostly just anecdotes. Now, usually I'm very, not as poo-pooey on Sasquatch evidence, but as my research years have gone on, and especially in the last few months talking with a couple other researchers, I've kind of shifted to the more cautious side of both tree structures and tree breaks and stuff. Back in April, I believe it was April. In April, my girlfriend and I were coming back from Jasper, and we stopped at Sunwapita Falls for a hike. And I thought on the trail, I found tree breaks. And I took a picture of them and I sent them to Ken Walker, who's a famous, I've talked about him before on this show. He's the champion taxidermist who also got a documentary done about him.
Big Fur.
Yes, very good documentary. Highly recommended. Go watch it.
I don't know. I felt it long, dreary, and boring, and more about his divorce than it was about the Patty sculpture. But
yeah,
to each their own.
Yeah. So he actually told me, because the trees were a little short, it probably wasn't a Sasquatch. Now, what made me think it was a Sasquatch, and I did have a picture of it, but once he told me it wasn't Sasquatch activity, I kind of deleted it, but I should have kept it for reference, my rookie mistake. He said it was on a hill going downwards or upwards, and what I thought was it might have been Sasquatch grabbing these trees and they broke as he was possibly climbing up the hill. And that's what I thought. But because they were too small, he said they were most likely moose. He told me that you got to look for at least 8 feet tall, 6.5 feet, 8 feet or higher for it to be a Sasquatch. If it's tree breaks, was his information, helpful information to me. So now when I go out and do my research hikes and everything like that, I look higher up instead of lower down. And as far as actually, I see the picture there of the twisted tree, and you'll see more pictures in a second. I think that personally could be more Sasquatch. I think that's more likely Sasquatch evidence.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, way back in the day, Sasquatch tree involvement weren't breaks. They were tree twists, as if something grabbed it, broke it over, and twisted it in a different direction. Not just a break. Anything can break a tree in a direction. And most of the time, we talk about this moron all the time, Todd, standing on this friggin' show, because it's just we have to make people understand that he's just a ridiculous moron who will walk down an old logging road and go, look at all the tops of the trees, they're broken. Well, yeah, that's because the logging equipment comes through there and just knocks the living crap out of everything.
Yeah. And also snow. I mean, I know exactly what area
Snow
he's doing
loads,
this.
snow breaks. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, they're talking about that Nordig area.
Yes, that's exactly where my hat is actually says Nordeg right on it. If I can get it, there we go.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
and it's been researched for a long time, long before Todd
Yes.
Standing went there. He went there because it had been researched so much.
And
I'm
Renee DeHinden actually did, and John Green in the late 60s actually did some research down there. And I found that out prior to anybody else knowing. So that's a bit of cool tidbit information there.
You know, the whole idea of sticking apples, you know, on trees and expecting that only a Sasquatch would come and get that is insane. I mean, that literally nothing else in the forest is going to eat a sweet apple. Nothing. Don't you dare touch that. That's for a Sasquatch. I'm going to leave that bait for a Sasquatch. So Mr. Raccoon, Mr. Possum, Mr. Squirrel, Mr. Bear, Mr. Deer. You ever seen deer get up on their back leg to eat the high points on trees? You know, especially like the little saplings and stuff. They'll go up 6 feet and actually nibble on stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous the things that get attributed to.
And the other thing too, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
When I used to live on an acreage, my dad and I set up a camera trap in front of our deer feeder, and we actually got video of them going on their hind legs and going at our bird feeder, which was a good height off the ground. So yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I mean, I've seen video of bears walking tight ropes to try and get to the bird feeder, you know, or the hummingbird feeder or whatever it is that they're really, really interested in. Animals will do the craziest, kookiest stuff to get to that kind of stuff. But back to the tree breaks. You know, like I said, it originally it was a tree twist that would really drive the interest of an investigator. And then it became tree breaks and this and every single broken thing in the woods then. And then after everybody kind of accepted, well, tree breaks, well, maybe, okay. Then that's when all the shelter crap started, where every friggin' thing that's leaning up against a tree has to be a Sasquatch friggin' shelter. I got news for you. In 90% of those shelter pictures, if you look around in the background, there's 10,000 other dead trees laying all over the place. Something is wrong with that part of the forest, and a lot of stuff dies there. When all that wood dies and falls, it does weird crap. I've seen one tree fall and knock another tree 50 feet away. Oh, there's no root system here for that. Well, snow load, snow melts, stuff rolls down hills, stuff gets picked up by the freaking wind. I mean, there's a gazillion reasons other than Sasquatch that this stuff happens.
And Jeff and I aren't totally poo-pooing this as no Sasquatch. I think Sasquatch could be capable of making shelters, but the problem is no one has ever seen them do it.
I actually know I poo-poo shelters completely. I'll make that very, very clear. No, I don't believe that there's a shelter out there that has ever been built by a Sasquatch that anybody has ever taken a picture of. I think every single item that they have found out there that looks like some type of a shelter is either natural deadfall, just from hundreds of years of shit dying in that part of the friggin' forest and finally fell into a teepee. You give a fucking bunch of monkeys a typewriter and eventually they'll write Shakespeare. I mean, it's the same kind of thing when you got 10,000 trees falling down all around the place. Eventually, they're going to kind of stack up and look like something. Just happens. Is it the Smurf Village? You know, is there 6 or 7 of these things, little teepee structure looking lean-to halfling things? I mean, if there's all of a sudden now the Bigfoot Village, I don't really know. But no, I completely poo-poo on the structures, not necessarily on the tree twists.
Right. Okay,
because
so
bears will
take that comment back. I'm not totally poo-pooing it.
Yeah,
I think there's a small chance that some of them did it.
I just don't see a Bigfoot needing a freaking shelter. I mean, they don't exist in the same area long enough to heed spending the friggin' energy to create that shelter. I think we'd find them more often if they lived in shelters.
Valid point.
We would find them a lot more often because their trails would be beaten down and their food sources would be devastated. And, you know, I mean, we would locate active. Have you ever seen an active shelter where there's like a beaten down game trail in and out of the shelter?
No.
Ever?
No.
Have you ever seen anything that looks like it's been used in the last 100 years? It doesn't look like a man-made shelter to you.
Me personally, no.
Right. I mean, and I've looked at a lot of this like, I don't want to call it garbage, but I've looked at a lot of this stuff over, the last 2 decades. Since the internet was pretty much born, I've, been digging into this stuff, billboards and, dial-up boards and all that other crap. And it's all, I've seen it all time and time and time again. Like this tree twist, something did this.
Yes,
It's some kind of a marker. Something did this. I don't, or it's just the strangest growing friggin' tree on the planet, which is also possible.
Yes. Yeah.
Given all things considered, every possibility can or will be true. That's the law of physics. It has to, otherwise everything is false. If everything can't be true, then everything must be false. Right. Therefore, in every kind of situation, there's a true and there's a false. And no matter what, guess, Blinken, what are you doing in that watchtower? I don't know. I'm guessing. I guess nobody's coming. I mean, the dude was blind. I mean, so the blind guy in the watchtower doesn't do us any good. And that's what we really have. That's my point. Is we have a ton of amateur scientists out there who really, really, really want to do good, but have no clue how to do it. Go about it all poorly, and then make claims based upon their poorly research, and then wonder why they get ridden out of town on the rail. I mean, you come in swinging your poop sack like a hobo. We're going to put you on the friggin' first train out of town and tell you not to come back. But the tree break stuff, like I said, do I know that Bigfoot's not doing that? Of course we can't say that. No more than we can say that unless we have a video of them actually doing it. Right. Tree knocks are the same problem. Is we don't even have any pictures of them carrying a stick. I mean, if I was going to bang on something on a regular basis, in some of these places I've been in, we've heard tree knocks several nights in a row, 6, 7 nights in a row. Sometimes when we were out there, are they tree knocks or are they branches breaking off of the friggin' forest? I don't know. I didn't see it. The woods make really loud, weird noises at night without any kind of help from anything.
Right.
Rocks will break in the middle of the night. Big, huge granite boulders will with a giant friggin' snap because the water content in them got to be just the right amount when the air got to be 36 degrees and, poof. And next thing you know, you're hearing a giant friggin' explosion and you don't know why. It wasn't Bigfoot. It wasn't a portal dimension opening. It was that rock over there splitting. Yeah, I did. And by the way, this show is not for children under the age of 13. If you think your parents love you, you're probably mistaken, but go ask them. Mom, do you love me?
You love me enough to let me watch the Squatch.
And if you're under 10, just go tell your mom she's calling you. Mom, you're calling me. Hey, speaking of mom, you're calling me. Let's take a minute here to say hi to everybody that's out there in the live hangout with us tonight. I am very concerned about Mr. Cooper, Dean Cooper, our resident quasi theorist. He was having some health issues, and I do believe that there was a surgery coming up, but this is like the longest that he's been out of contact with me for really any kind of reason. And the last posting I've seen from him was June 20th. So let's put our good karma together and hope that, he's doing okay. And if he has transformed into new energy, then let's give that good energy to his wife, because I'm sure she would probably be devastated. So let's hope for the best. And, if I hear from him, of course, I will let everybody know. But we have not heard from Dean, and we're very concerned. I mean, he's part of our family. And anyhow, moving right along, Miss Bella Allegri is in the house tonight. Hello there, young lady. And the Titan Glass 88. There is your Lance Windsor, your buddy from the Great White North, with you over there. The Reverend Tim McCune is in the house. Hello there, Reverend Tim. There's Mr. Aaron and Mary Duncan. Hello there to y'all. Hope y'all are catching giant friggin' salmon. I've got my my Indian River hatchery hat on. If you've got some extra cash you want to give to somebody, send it to the Indian River Hatchery. Those guys put 90,000 salmon back into the river system and the ocean system every single year. So, and they do it on 96 fish. If you check out my personal Facebook page, there's a tour of the facility in little snippets, and they literally take 48 females and 48 males, and that's it. And they create 90,000 salmon from that little bit of a sample. So they do really, really fantastic work up there. If you want to check it out, the Indian River Hatchery. I don't think there's a website, but you can check out the videos that are on my Facebook page. Hello there, the Viking Don Rife. Hello there, sir. The Jarls of old. Let's see here. Shane Barber's in the house. If I didn't say hi to him earlier, I definitely said hi to him now. There's that asshole Jeffrey Kelly. Man, I don't even know why he shows up to this show every week.
Yeah. Should block him.
Yeah, I should block him so he can't post in here. Kevin K 208. Hello there, Kevin K. Glad you're with us today as well. Getting down to the bottom here. There's the Reverend Rodney Dupree. Hello, Reverend Rodney. Glad you are with us, buddy. And the Brown Dwarf is checking in. Long time no see, man. Got my name spelled all wrong, but whatever. It was an effort. We're good. We know why. Breathe deep and cough, my friend. Let's see here. If you haven't said hi to me, I can't say hi to you. That's how this all works. That weirdo guy, Cameron Young, he's hanging out there somewhere too, I'm sure. Collier is always freaking lurking in the background. He doesn't post a lot because he's usually working on something cool in the background, art related. And of course, your old pal Wes is always on the list. So my son's birthday was here just earlier this month. Happy 18th birthday to him. And other than that, we can move the hell right along. It'll be
my birthday a week tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah. One step closer to the brown envelope for me.
To the brown envelope.
That's old age security pension up here in Canada.
Okay, yeah. We don't get that here. Apparently the government took it and they never gave it back. So, old ladies have to live on like $1,200 a month now. It's crazy. So this was one point I will say before we get to the pictures. I think it could be. I mean, while a Sasquatch is walking through the woods, either just leisurely or in a hurry, it may grab a tree and have it break in that scenario. Sure. But as far as maybe breaking them on purpose as some sort of signal or something, that might be a little different. That was the point I was going to say before we. Anything else. Now that if you take a look at this particular tree break and tree twist, right, and you look and you notice, what is it actually between two pieces of barbed wire? Which means this tree was probably growing up and affecting the barbed wire. The farmer came through on a fence walk, broke it and twisted it over so that it wouldn't grow up through his barbed wire fence anymore. That's more likely what actually happened. Can you see the barbed wire fence in the background? Yes.
I didn't notice that until
I didn't notice that either until I enlarged it myself. But everybody looks at these pictures on their phones and these little friggin' tablets and stuff. And it's like, if you want to make a determination, a call about something, then you've really got to put it on a bigger screen. If you can cast it to your TV or look at it on a computer, I've got a 27-inch here that I'm 4.5 inches from. I can see everything in good detail with this, and that's where all the nuances of the stuff you can pick up.
Right.
Why can't I? Oh God, what the freaking hell? Let me try this again. That ain't work out so good, y'all. Let's try it this time. Hey, what can I tell you? It's free software. I do the best with it I can. I never claim to be a professional, just claim to be a loudmouth with a YouTube channel. Okay, let's try that again. Now, there we go. See, now this. Now, what the hell, man? I have no idea what in the freaking hell happened to that. It literally looks like something just kept twisting it around and twisting it around and twisting it around until the core of it just exploded. Now notice here along the line, there's a great big friggin' tree down here. Bunch of little dead stuff about the same size as what this is, kind of laying all around. So who's to say it was even a healthy tree to begin with?
Right.
God, can these people even see it? Am I showing it? Yes. Okay, they can see it.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
You know, why would a Sasquatch do this?
For fun?
Well, really, I can see maybe a juvenile having some fun doing that.
Or
But-
an older one telling people to stay the heck away, or this would be
But
your dead skin wrapped around a tree.
Do you know how much energy, how much caloric energy it would take to do something like this? There would have to be a purpose behind it. You know, bears don't scratch and beat down trees for nothing. If there's a honeycomb up there, they may do it for that and tear the honeycomb apart and get the nutrients out of it. But they don't just spend, a bunch of calories doing nothing. They know that the amount of food that they have to consume to maintain themselves, and you can only imagine a very large primate having like the average California black bear. Okay, the average California black bear eats 10,000 calories in a day. Now, he may not eat every day, but when he does eat, he eats 10,000 calories. Why? Because he has to maintain his girth, his size, his fat content for the winter. Sasquatch are going to need to be the same way. You're not going to see super 6%, freaking 3% bodybuilder Sasquatch. They're going to have some fat on them to keep warm in the wintertime, because even when they move down into the lower valley systems where they might be below the snow line, it's still only 40 degrees. It just doesn't have 12 feet of freaking snow on it. You're just above that freeze line.
Yeah, exactly. In Canada, it'll be colder it'll be like -40 and still have lots of snow.
Right. But the whole Celsius versus Fahrenheit, I can't do that math. I don't math good. Hey,
No,
the Mr. Fang 3, he stopped in, as well as your Hobo Man 5. Hello. The Obsidian Radio. Who else did I miss? Gone Trapping, Low Rider. Hello there. That's right. But Jeffrey knows that a pie without a crust is just filling. He also knows Todd Standing is a pile of stacked feces. Hell yeah. I do know that a pie is without a crust is only filling, but I only eat the pie for the filling, so screw the crust. Okay. I think we got everybody checked back in. Sorry about that. But yeah, the amount of calories that it would take to do something like this would just be unworthy. Kind of like building a shelter. I know I keep poo-pooing on the shelter, but you're entitled to your own opinion. It's a whole lot of caloric effort for a short period of time. I mean, humans built houses after we learned to cultivate crops. Otherwise, we built wiki-ups and easy shit to make and live in. So I don't know. Anyhow, like something like this, again, this is something that is that snow load. It sure looks exploded, as though, something just couldn't take any more friggin' pressure against it. There's no twist in it whatsoever.
Is that a track on the ground next to the right-hand side of
there? No, that's just moss laying there in the dirt. We can blow it up and take a look at it, but that's just there's no indent. See, that's the other thing is in a location like this, if Sasquatch did this, well, where's the tracks in and out? You should be showing me a trackway that leads up to this tree and away from this tree, shouldn't you? I mean, look at how white this is. This is all green. It's all recent. There should definitely be evidence of something. Renee was talking about, where they found hairs in some of the tree breaks. Okay. He also said that some of the Freeman hair that they found was his wife's wig. Or synthetic hairs, if you like. But again, everybody at that time was competing for what little bit of attention was out there, just trying to get their research and their information out to the public in any way that they can. This is one from Sear, and I don't know why they think this is a Sasquatch tree break. It really honestly just looks like a some kind of a defective limb on this tree that brought wind. The way it's split looks like a natural split. It doesn't look like something snapped it.
Right. And that's sort of like the one that I thought I found near Jasper, and but it was a much smaller tree, but that's pretty much exactly what it looked like.
There's a billion reasons why something would snap off like this. Disease, age, who knows? But a fat raccoon got up there. There's just people laugh, but raccoons can get pretty freaking fat. Here's another one. When you really actually look at the break itself, what is so spectacular about that?
Yeah,
it's a broken tree.
Like it's a heavy tree, is what it is.
Well, yeah, it's got some girth to it, but it's a broken tree in the woods. What about that is suspicious? What about that lends it's to some mysterious hominid walking around the woods? I don't know. To me, it just looks like an unfortunate friggin' tree break. We see trees with half friggin' broken branches all over the forest. Did Bigfoot go through there and break them all? Why this one any more than any other one? And why, marking territory? Okay, I could get that, but this seems like an awful lot of effort for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe a bunch of kids were going to make a lean-to or make a debris shelter. There's, now this, when you really, again, we take a close-up look at it. I don't know. What did that? Why? That looks like it's peeled up, but it's not. This is actually peeled down from it, and this then failed and pulled over the top of it. So you actually have two separate incidents here. Whatever this split is, got pulled down, and then it weakened the rest of the structure, which allowed the rest of the structure to fall over. And if you look at the actual meat of the plant, this is much whiter, where this is much more yellow, which means this event happened first, and this is a recent event that happened afterwards. This broken piece here is a direct result of this piece of tree failing at this point for whatever reason. And if you look at it, you can actually see a big dark ass line right through the middle of that branch, probably indicating some kind of an insect. Again, what lends that to wanting it to be Sasquatch? What did the Sasquatch do to do that?
And the other thing too is we're not too sure the height of the tree. We don't know the angle that picture, like that could be over a ledge and the person couldn't get close enough, or else they'd fall off the cliff.
Could be in their backyard. Yeah, that's the they do look like they're in some mountainous territory, but like I said, trees fall in the woods. If a man says something in the woods and his wife isn't there to hear him, is he still wrong? Here's another one. Let's take a close up look at this. Something broke this over. I don't know exactly what, but where are the tracks that would lead up to this? Where's the? I don't even see like an animal friggin' trail of any kind anywhere near. If this was going to be a territorial marker, you would think that there would be some kind of a friggin' bears. You can tell their territory that they're roaming, because there's big ass bear trails that run right through them. By the way, any of you guys that go up to Onion Lake up there in Humboldt County on Bluff Creek, near Louse Camp, for God's sakes, do not put your camp up on the hill next to the fucking bear trail. Don't be idiots. Everybody does it. I don't know why there's a fire ring there. Don't use it. There's another one on the other side of camp by the freaking lake. Go over there. Don't put your tent on the bear trail, morons. I digress. I don't even see an animal trail anywhere, leading to or from or anywhere near this. So what is this? I don't know. It's definitely a broken tree, and it doesn't look to be all that big, so an ATV could have done it. I mean,
and it looks like there might be some sap or some sort of fluid dripping down.
Yeah, it looks recent, and that was one of the things. Like when we were up in the Sierras investigating at one of our locations, and there was a big around as your forearm evergreen tree pulled over into a great big bow, as though it would have been bowed out like that from snow load. But the problem is this was August, and there was active sap running out of the cracks that went along the backbone of it. So something big and heavy either climbed it or pulled it over and snapped the backbone of this, forearm thick friggin' sapling. And the sap was literally, you could see where the sap was dripping out from the fresh wounds. So, I mean, it had been pulled over or rocked over that way by whatever did that. And it wasn't looking to go back up. Like it wasn't growing back up. Like it wasn't a really old injury where the sap is just continuing to run out of it. No, I mean, it was while we were there kind of injury happened to this friggin' tree, and none of us saw nor heard it happen. But we get down on the ground and we look for, we're looking for disturbances. We're looking for any kind of animal feces. We're looking for hair. We're looking for whatever. And there's absolutely nothing. Now, the Sasquatch who's covered in, 3-4 inch friggin' hair is grabbing a sapling like that and yanking it over and breaking the backbone on it. It's going to leave some kind of evidence behind. So we couldn't attribute it to that. Was it strange? Sure. Weird as friggin' hell. But one of the guys actually got down there like with a magnifying glass and was like really looking at the ground for hairs and just anything he could find that might, attribute a bear or anything. I mean, we'd be happy if we could find bear scat or tracks like right around that tree, anything to kind of help explain it. And it's just one of those instances where it's unexplainable. We just don't know what it was. But in the same token, do I think it was a Sasquatch that did it still? No, not really. Not really at all. Let's see here. Is there any? I think there might be one more of these. Let's zoom back out of this monster, and there. Now, again, this looks like snow load to me.
Yeah, and that's probably what it is.
I mean, those are birch trees, so they're going to be in altitudes where it snows. These are firs. They're also in snow, in alpine areas. So, I mean, not sure what this tree is over here, but these are definitely like birch trees.
Absolutely.
So I mean, that to me just looks like a heavy snow load probably fell down out of these friggin' pines and just crushed and cracked all three of these. I just don't think, because where is it? Again, where's the trail? Where's the boundary? I mean, don't go past this. Okay, in which direction? Is that all 360 degrees? I mean, which direction is it pointing in? Is it really pointing in a direction? Or are they all pointing in a direction? Because if that's the case, probably a big-ass logging truck knocked him over, or a piece of logging equipment as it went through. I mean, people don't realize that they don't really care about the small saplings and stuff as they're harvesting these big trees. They really don't, because they're going to plant 1 million trees after they friggin' haul them all out. Right. Anyhow, I digress one more time. This, it's literally in the ugliest knot on the tree.
Yes.
Whatever this is happened to like the weakest, ugliest spot on this tree. Did something break out of there? Looks like it. Looks like it happened quite some time ago. In this one, it doesn't look like it's new. Yes. As a matter of fact, it actually looks like it's growing back into itself. For whatever reason, but I don't know. Without the context of the picture, without knowing where this is in the tree, like you can see this guy's foot. So this is probably down low, which means a deer, a bear, a bobcat, a cougar. There's a gazillion
natural
things.
Causes.
Right. Snow load, a rock pushed past it. Who knows? Yeah. I just, the attribution of all of this stuff to the Sasquatch creature just is the part that I don't quite understand why people have to do that. That's
I there was another picture that I thought it was in one of my books, and I should have looked more, where it was like one of the first ones where it was like twisted, like really, like, and it was a thick, and that to me was like, yeah, maybe a Sasquatch did that. But, in my conclusion in all this, until I'm going to back off a little bit on the tree structures and the tree twists now that I know a bit more information and the fact that we never really seen a Sasquatch do this. I think it's possible that sure, there, if someone saw one and it took off in a hurry and it grabbed a tree while running away, I don't discount that. But as far as intentionally breaking trees and leaving signs, I'm not too sure. I think we need to collect more evidence on that. But the actual single piece of tree twists, I think that possibly could be Sasquatch. I think they could have enough strength to do that, but it would have to be. But I agree. You made an excellent point, Jeff. Where are the footprints when these things are found?
Where
I never thought about that till now.
Where is the active trail that they're being marked? There would be, that would be a boundary line. If that was some kind of a marker, it would be a boundary line. Bears, when they're going through, they stand up, scratch the shit out of a tree on their active bear trail. And another bear wants to take over his territory. He just follows that trail and puts his own friggin' scratch in there. And eventually they'll hammer out who won. But it's just they're no matter if they're space aliens, they're not making tree breaks. If they're paranthropus, hominid species, then why would they want nor need to do this? If their whole objective is to avoid humans and live a life of a solitude and, a loneliness, why would they mark anything and leave their friggin' their whereabouts be known at all? Orangutans don't. Orangutans live, other than mothers live with their babies until the babies are chased the hell off. But I mean, male orangutans are just like friggin', they're off in the friggin' forest, yo. They ain't leaving no sign. They don't even know where they are half the damn time. Even on the island friggin' sanctuaries, they have to go looking for them because they're just like, I don't know where he went. He's eating somewhere out there. Speaking of which, I wanted to bring this up. This is absolutely crazy. Where the hell is it? Oh, come on. There it is. I fucking love science, of course, is one of our favorite friggin' channels. Chimpanzees seen killing gorillas for the first time. Are you shitting me? The first observations of lethal attacks by chimpanzees against gorillas have been reported, although this proves our closest relatives can pose a danger to those just a little further genetically removed. A paper in the Scientific Reports indicates that the ultimate cause may be us. The Loango National Park is home to both chimps and western lowland gorillas for 16 years. It has also included the Loango Chimpanzee Project, a study of the relationships between chimp troops. Well, the chimpanzees are definitely the most warlike of the great apes, humans aside, but for the most of the time, the project has been observing that they took out their violent side on others of their own species or other small animals. Longer-term observation efforts have seen the same thing elsewhere. Interaction between the chimps and the gorillas have so far been considered a relatively relaxed. We have regularly observed both species interacting peacefully in foraging trees. Our colleagues from the Congo even witnessed playful interactions between the two great ape species. Playful interactions, my ass. Showing him his teeth ain't playful interactions. All that changed 2 years ago when a student and his colleagues heard the sort of screams usually associated with unfriendly encounters between two chimpanzee troops. Then he heard chest beats, a display characteristic for gorillas, and realized that the chimpanzees had encountered a group of 5 gorillas. The fight lasted 52 minutes. Members of the project witnessed a longer conflict 10 months later. In both cases, the chimpanzees used weight of numbers, 27 to 5 and 7, respectively. So To counteract the gorilla's considerable size advantage, the first battle involved some aggravation from both sides, but the second saw chimpanzees chasing gorillas up and down trees and then attacking them as they attempted to escape through the canopy and on the ground. Each time the adult gorillas eventually got away, but an infant became separated from its mother and was killed. 3 chimpanzees were injured in the first battle. That's crazy. Eventually, there was another fight. I read on another article. There was a second fight, and there was a second dead baby gorilla, and it was eaten by the chimpanzee. But the first wasn't treated as food, at least initially, making it seem that the violence was more about competition for resources than direct predation. So the chimps aren't killing them because they want to eat them. The chimps are killing them because they're eating their shit. Boy, that would have made it real easy for me to get rid of my brother when I was a kid. He always ate my shit. You know, if I'd have known, it would have been all right to bash him in the head with a rock because he ate my damn Pringles. You know, that's the last time you're eating my Pringles, mother. Beat his ass with a rock, pull a Cain and Abel on his ass. I mean, yeah, straight up, man. I mean, the final battle is beginning between chimps and gorillas, and I don't know why they're surprised, because I mean, the people of the Congo described 6-foot lion killing chimpanzees, you know, and those turned out to be the billy apes, you know, literally using spears, you know, to kill friggin' lion, to kill the local big cats, you know, lion killing friggin' 6-foot chimpanzees with spears. Nobody believed us, but now 27 chimps are taking on 5 gorillas. Like, come on, bitch, what's up? This is my neighborhood. I don't know what you think you're doing over here, gorilla boy, but you need to get the hell up out. Hold up. Let me call my homies real quick. Yo, homies. 27 of them bitches be down here on 5 gorillas going, what's up? You got the wrong neighborhood. You need to take that damn Impala shit back on down to Homieville, man. I don't know what y'all doing up here. Oh, that's just crazy.
It's the Planet of the Apes coming to life. Like, really, like, it's insane.
And there's Mr. Paul Di Giacomo. Wow, that's a hell of a mobster name if I've ever seen one. Karen Robb finally made it to the show. JR Fitzwater. You know how you can tell 2 gay Irishmen, right? Michael Fitzpatrick and Patrick Fitzmichael.
Patrick Fitzgerald. Well, actually, there was a story my uncle told me. It was Michael and Patrick. Patrick Fitzgerald.
Yeah, straight up. Chimps throwing gang signs, man. Look at him, man. His hands are all like, bitch, what up, man? This is my neighborhood. I ain't taking shit from nobody. I want to make sure I didn't miss out on anybody. Frank G checked into the show. Hello there, Frankie boy. Glad you made it as well. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's just, you know, to settle out the whole tree break thing. You know, I poo-poo it. I can think of a million other things that a Sasquatch would want to do. Sasquatch has finally checked in as well. They could definitely use their calories somewhere else far better than doing this kind of stuff. We don't have any real hair from tree breaks. We don't have any real tracks from around tree breaks. We don't have any real trails leading up to and away from tree breaks. And we've never identified a structure near a tree break. The Smurf Village doesn't exist where these things are for some reason. They're always in 2 different places, you know, except for Nordic, you know, because the logging road that Todd Sitting likes to walk down and see the broken. Look, they're all broken in the same direction. Gee, you think maybe the excavator had a little bit to do with that? Yeah, man, that's just absolutely insane. So, hey, I always ask you what you got going on, and I know you got something cool going on. So why don't you tell the people what you got going on?
Sure. So I'm going to try and share my screen here, and hopefully it works. So I'm going to give this a shot. Okay. Hopefully this works. Okay. Yeah, I want to grant access, but I should have. Oh, just for that, just work with me here for a couple of minutes, and I want to try and get this. I'm sure this will work.
That's such an amateur fucking show. I swear to God, nobody on this show knows shit about what they're doing. I don't even know why I watch this goddamn show.
I'm going to do this, and I'm going to allow, and I'm sure this will work.
It's still not going to work.
Okay, well, here, I'm going to do, you know what? I think I figured it out. So I'm just
hold your camera right over it. No.
Oh, yeah. That actually might be what I'll do if this doesn't work. So if not, I'll just, there we go. Yeah, I am not, later. There we go. I'm going to try this now and see if it works. And if not, then I will just use my camera. All right. Stupid wires in the way. Yeah, this is amateur hour, folks. Yeah. Entire screen and there. That might work. I don't know. We're gonna give it a shot. Is it working?
There we go.
There we go. Perfect. So I am working on a book, and I got the idea. I get oddly, having a nap gives me good ideas, and so I was listening to a podcast, a Sasquatch podcast with Thomas Steenberg, and an odd thought just popped in my head, and I thought, gee, I should write a book about my research through the past, I started in 97. So I started writing this book. And now this is just a rough copy. I've titled it My Search for the Sasquatch, pretty basic, from 1997 till now. And this is basically what I have so far. And I sent a copy to you and some of my other research friends just to get their opinion on it. And Tom Steenberg likes what I got so far. So do a few others. I know it's a very, amateurish looking book, but I have talked to Doug Hychek about publishing it one day. He just said it has to be at least 50 pages. So I still got a ways to go. I'll just give you a little bit of preview. So this is my chapter called Sasquatch and Cancer. This is when I came across your show, Jeff, in the winter of 2013, when I was starting, when I had cancer, and I was at the Cross Cancer Institute here in Edmonton. And I felt like watching a Sasquatch show, and through YouTube, your show was suggested, and I started watching it, and I was hooked. And I started watching every week. So this channel is pretty much this chapter is pretty much dedicated to you and your show.
Boy, you really do like a beating mentally, don't you? Because I know it's tough to stick with me all these years. I mean, I know I bounce all over the damn place sometimes, but boy, if you can stick with me this long, people, I have some reasonable contributions to give to this topic. I just try to keep it logical, keep it grounded. Right. That's the whole idea of it. And
exactly. And I put right here, what I really liked about the show was that it was informative. It was interactive, I felt, and it had some sarcasm and humor. I think, and it said here, I think the first day I watched 3 episodes while getting chemo treatment because it would take me all day.
That's awesome.
And so this is, and then the last part, I owe Jeff Kelly such a big thank you for giving me my first big break and letting me join his podcast and helping me out so much and giving me lots of helpful advice. So that chapter is basically dedicated to you. And really, you were the first thing that said, hey, let's give this guy a shot. He actually knows what he's talking about. He's not a Matthew Johnson portal dude.
Well, that was always the thing was, I didn't want to talk to the same old people that everybody talks to because they just got the same old boring stories, the same old boring bullshit.
Right.
Not that it's bullshit, but everybody's heard it. Everybody's heard those stories. Right. Everybody heard the Mike Woolley story. Everybody heard all those stories. And it was like, you really gotta kind of get out there and get to the little guys sometimes because they've got a lot of useful information.
and this, you know, it also has the chapter of when I found my possible first and only Sasquatch track, and this here was possible bedding that I found. I mean, it could be nothing, but I took, and then a small trail kind of thing that went up in the river where everything was found, and then it has the part about, you know, when I started doing interviews, so, and all the people that I got to talk to and interview and stuff like that. So, and then it has the hardest chapter that I had so far typing was, and then there's also a picture of Grover Krantz and the Bossberg Cripple tracks. I go into that. This was the hardest one to talk about, was the Yeti and other Sasquatch family members, because I mostly do all my research with Alberta and Canada on the Sasquatch, not so much. I don't live near Europe, right? Like, so I don't,
right.
You know,
concentrate on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I did put it in there, and just to have a bit of different, just to basically show there is other creatures than just the Sasquatch. Well, that was the hardest chapter to write.
Well, just like the human DNA spectrum from, you know, Australopithecus through Homo naledi, all the way through Neanderthalus, Erectus, Homo sapien, there would be just as many Paranthropus species out there as well that went to different parts of the world and became different things.
Right.
The Paranthropus species that made its way to North America, however it made its way here, is going to be different than the Paranthropus species that made it to China and, you know, and evolved there. Just like chimpanzees are different than bonobo, and bonobo are different than billy ape, even though they kind of look the same.
Right.
They're all described the same. There's huge differences in size, attitude, ferocity, you know. So, yeah, I mean, there's going to be other creatures out there. They reach for the Yeti thing because, you know, David was one of those guys who was always like, Yeti. Do you know what the word Yeti actually means in Nepalese? It actually means look there. It's not a thing. It's a, what the hell is that? It's a,
right.
Voila. You know, it's nothing. It's, you know, but that's what it is. Right. It's look there, you know, Yeti. And you know, they, when the colonizers came to Australia, they saw these kangaroo bouncing around, and they'd ask the Aborigines, hey, what is that thing? What do they call it? And the Aborigines would look at him and go, kangaroo. Well, kangaroo actually meant, I don't understand.
Huh.
It's not true, weird, but it sounds true. Anyhow.
And then it has a little bit of chapter about my trip this past spring to the Bighorn Dam. And I tell the story about how that's basically one of the biggest Sasquatch reports from Alberta. And I include my photo of almost the same angle that Thomas Steenberg took all of his, and the Edmonton Journal front page news in my hometown from August 24th of 1969. The article was from August 30th. The sighting was August 24th. And then I included some of Thomas Steenberg's photos that he sent me. And then John Green's photo from the early 70s. And like, if you look at that, like you see this from the early 70s up to now, it looks totally different. And this was the ledge where they apparently saw the creature was right here. So this is what I've been working on. And I have, odd. It did not save the last chapter that I typed.
Oops. That sucks.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Hey, you know what happens to the best of us.
Yeah, that's weird. So, but no, that's basically what I've been doing. So,
well, that's awesome, man. We absolutely look forward to it. Keep up the good work, my man. It's been a great show. I think we're already like really long. We're already over an hour, which is a lot of fun.
Sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry, man. This is YouTube, man. I got 8 hours I can be on this bitch. We can talk about the color of freaking bubble gum on the street. I don't care. They ain't gonna kick me out of here. I ain't even freaking monetized anymore, so nobody can even bitch that I'm doing it for the money. So anyhow, with that, guys, I want to thank Cameron for being here with me again. We'll have him back on the show sometime in the near future. Who knows? We'll talk about something else. But
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out. Next week should be a Bigfoot Entertainment Monthly, so I will get with your old pal Wes and we'll post up a movie to watch, and we'll see how it all goes from there. So with that,
Did you guys do Big Fur yet?
We have not done Big Fur, but he is not a big fan of Big Fur, neither am I. So
Okay, fair enough.
you know, but I don't know. We'll see. We always like the stupid movies because they're just fun. They're just absolutely fun. You know, it's funny that a lot of people that are in here, not funny, but it's kind of interesting that a lot of people that are actually in here, that are in the chat room with us every day, actually discovered the show while they were sick and fighting cancer. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's karma or the gods or whatever it is that makes people come to me and feel some kind of relief for whatever period of time I can give it to them. You know, I do it for you guys. I don't do this show for me anymore. I could care less about most of it anymore. I mean, it's so hard to stay in it without getting depressed over the crap that just goes on in the background all the time, and be one of the only people who tries to stay logical and reasonable with, you know, the research and the investigations that we go on with. So, you know, I love you guys, and that's, I think of you all as family, and that's why when somebody's MIA like Dean, it hurts. It really, we lost Kurt, and, you know, now we lost Natalie, and, you know, I don't want to lose Dean. It gets kind of hard after a while, because I've lost quite a few of you that you guys don't even know. People that contact me by email, or people that I know on Facebook that don't come into the chat room because I just don't have that extrovertedness to be able to do it. So I love you guys. I'm so glad you're out there. And Pie's coming up. You know, if you guys can get out here to California, the last week of September, the 20th. Well, not the last week, the third week of September. Well, it's the fourth. There's 5 weeks of September. Anyhow, September 21st, the Tuesday to Saturday, the 25th, we will be in the Pie Valley. I've already got the spots paid for. So basically your cost of getting here and bringing your gear and eating is all you've got. So with that, thank everybody for being here. And we will see you guys next week right here on the Squatchers Lounge podcast. Thanks, Cameron.
No problem. Thanks, Jeff. Oh, I shouldn't have had that fourth piece of pizza.
I should have had that third dab.
I'll wash it down with a Snapple.
Joan, get me a Snapple. Diet Peach, to be exact. Which, I swear, we had Joan in the chat room for a while, and I think it was that Joan. I'm pretty sure it was, but, you know, who knows? With that, everybody, thank you so much for being here, and may the Squatch be with you.